Welcome, everybody, to the Sonoma Spiel. My name is Tim, bringing you the finest of Sonoma Valley and the greater Sonoma Valley. Today, very special guest. I know you always think, oh, Tim, it's a special guest, and I always say it's a very special guest. But tonight, it's a very special guest, kind of like how Love Boat used to always have extra very special double secret guest star. We have Matt Villano, who is known as a writer, a blogger, and also a special character named Matty Vino we're going to hear about. Matt, welcome. How you doing?
I'm awesome, Tim. Thanks for having me. This is Matty Vino doesn't usually speak, so this is a real treat for me to share with the world the mellifluous tones of Matty Vino.
Matty Vino's voice. He's sort of a mime in a lot of ways.
Yeah, he's sort of part inspired by Mr. Bean. Maybe a little Pee Wee Herman in there, but yes, he does not speak save for the voiceovers on his videos.
I love it. And so, Matt, tell me before we get going here, you are a travel writer, sort of. You're a writer.
I'm
a journalist.
I'm a trained journalist. I got a bachelor's of science in journalism. Been a freelance writer full time for 25 plus years, and just before this pandemic started, I had the crazy idea of creating this alter ego character. And then, little Mr. COVID threw a little wrinkle in my plans. Right. But Matty Vino, as any fine wine, has persevered and is back.
And gotten better with age.
Gotten much better with age, and he's now taken the world by storm.
Can you explain to us who Matty Vino is and what Matty Vino is so people can understand it?
Well, he's a sex icon.
International sex icon.
I mean, that's
Matty Vino. That's true.
That's a given.
Okay.
I like to think of Matty Vino as a bit of an ambassador.
Okay.
For wine country, all of wine country, but I also think Matty Vino really represents Sonoma County uniquely because there's a certain aspect of his personality and persona that is light. There's real levity to Matty Vino's perspective. His the whole idea is wine country beyond the wine.
Right.
And of course, the joke there is that Matty Vino himself is a 6 foot tall bottle of wine.
So that's not what. Right. You didn't really tip your hand here. You're currently wearing a bodysuit.
I am. Unfortunately, no one listening can see me.
If we have the video, if people want to watch it on YouTube. But yeah, you are in a merlot bodysuit, I believe you're calling it.
Yes. So
Matty
has a lot of different varieties,
right.
And really depending on the mood of the day or the client who pays for Matty's appearances, Matty Vino's appearances. I've got some Chardonnay colored bodysuits. I'm currently wearing a merlot colored bodysuit. There is a Cabernet colored bodysuit,
a darker purple maybe. Or something?
Yeah, but that looks sometimes a little black in the wrong light, so I don't want to really turn people off. But
I'm an Alicante Boucher. It's a very dark wine, so you could just say you're Alicante Boucher or something like that.
I could,
if you're going super cork dork.
Right? I could. Yeah. I don't want to excite people too much, and Well, you're here in the bodysuit. I'm already fairly excited that you're here. Well, I'm just sorry I'm not here in the bottle. I couldn't get it through the front door.
Right, so it's like 7 feet tall or something.
It is, and because the bottle drops down below my knees, I can't really bend or sit in it. So it's a lot of standing when I become Matty Vino, which is fine. I don't mind standing, and I've got a really well trained bladder over the years.
Right.
So I thought I would bring to this recording today some legitimacy by donning the bodysuit, but in fact the bottle is sitting in the car by itself.
Got it. Okay. Well, next time we'll I'll put in some. On this YouTube version, some photos of it, and I can also put it on the website. And
there's some fun videos. Some real fun videos.
Tell me about your videos that you've done, because I've seen you in a canoe, I think. Did I see you in a canoe? Or a kayak?
No, Matty can't sit in a canoe.
Right, where did I see? By the river?
Yep.
Okay, so tell me what Matty Vino's done around Sonoma County and greater area.
Yeah, and then we can go into the origin story if you'd like. It involves the fellowship of a ring and a hobbit.
Some orcs.
Yeah, Matty. So Matty Vino is for hire, and so on a couple of occasions, some wine brands have hired Matty Vino to tell a story.
Right.
But in between those engagements, because I'm creative and somewhat crazy, I've put together some videos of my own. So
got it.
Matty Vino has explored wine country beyond the wine on the Sonoma County coast.
Right.
Matty Vino has explored wine country beyond the wine in Armstrong Redwoods, which actually was great because we filmed it before the Walbridge fire, and then the video came out almost as a tribute to Armstrong Redwoods, which was fun.
It's recovered. I don't know if you've been back to Armstrong recently.
Yes.
I know a lot of people who aren't from California, like, oh, there's fires and stuff, but part of the normal, the way our ecosystem goes is that there are fires. And it's been recovering quite well after the fact.
I've been there. I've seen it, and it's honestly, it's awesome. Yeah, it's awesome. I think my favorite of the Matty Vino videos was the video I did during harvest in Petaluma.
Were you harvesting grapes?
No, but there was a scene in the video that we shot at Sonoma Hills Farm in Petaluma, and Matty Vino in a field of cannabis was quite a sight to behold.
Oh, wait, Matty Vino in a field of cannabis.
Yeah, again, obviously the joke there, wine country beyond the wine, right? We've got it all, but Matty Vino, there I was licking this beautiful flower, with my dancing around in my wine bottle, and it was epic.
Is this on a YouTube channel somewhere?
I'm trying to get my kids involved, and I've told them.
Wait, so they're going to be your digital media interns? Is this where
I'm trying, and these kids, they're not interested, but
YouTube's for old people, man. It's all TikTok nowadays.
They want the YouTube, and really? I keep saying to them, I don't have the bandwidth to set it up. You guys do it, and I'll pay you. And they're not there yet. But I've got a website. There's some videos on there. There's an Instagram at that Matty Vino.
Okay.
And that's where most of the videos show up for now. But eventually, I'm hoping my kids will want to buy stuff, and they'll be motivated by money, and they'll set up the channel.
It's funny. One of my kids is very motivated by working and worked starting at 15. But COVID helped because there was no one working, so he's able to work at farmers markets. Second child wants to get a job right now. But now it's like we're back where they weren't just hiring everybody. And they kind of want to work at the library or the bookstore or something like that. But they will hit that point, Matt. Don't worry. They will eventually get there.
And if they don't, maybe I could hire your daughter to set up the YouTube channel. Everybody wins.
Absolutely. No, that kid watches a lot of YouTube. So and listen to this podcast. Everest, listen to this podcast, please, because I've been asking you desperately to critique my skills. And you're like, I don't know. It's a bunch of old people, Dad. I don't want to listen. Tell me about the origin story. Can we talk about how did Matty Vino come out? Because it's worth talking, whatever the story is, but like, why did you decide to put on a plastic bottle that's 7 feet tall?
Absolutely. And I think it's a real Sonoma story. First of all, I enjoy drinking wine, as most folks here do.
Good,
and
as you should.
I was at a harvest dinner at Kendall Jackson one night and spotted a giant plastic bottle of Kendall Jackson Chardonnay just sitting alone in the corner of the tasting room.
Oh, so it was like a prop.
It was a prop. And,
in the corner. So
right.
it's sort of like when you used to go to the liquor stores and they'd have like a blow up Coors Light party ball or something like that.
And it was lonely. Okay. And it spoke to me. And it said, Matt, help me. Save me. And I walked over to it and there was some dust on it. And because I had some wine and because I'm weird, I just, wrapped my leg around it and started to pretend to make out with it. And some folks saw me and thought,
"What are these?
That guy's here on a media dinner, a media comp
for Kendall Jackson." They come over and go, "Sir, I'm sorry."
Exactly.
Like, oh wait, I'm a guest, I think, sir.
Exactly. And so I was asked to stop, which is great, and
which showed that it had an effect on people.
Totally. Right. And then the next morning, I sent off an email to a colleague of mine in the marketing department over there, and it basically the email said, "Hey, I noticed there was a 6 foot tall plastic Chardonnay bottle in the tasting room." Right. I had dreams of,
I was making
love to giant wine bottles all night.
As you do.
Right. Of course, Anyway, one thing led to another, and they were kind enough to let me have that bottle after I had fouled it and soiled it. And the first video actually was for KJ. It was great, and it was a video about all the different things that you could do and see at the visitor center there over in Windsor, Santa Rosa area, and it just took off from there, and that was really sort of the beginning of Matty Vino.
Okay, do you think they did this? Like, I don't know what the internal emails would look like, but back and forth, like, we just got to get rid of this guy, give him the plastic 6 foot bottle.
I gotta say, KJ right out of the gate saw the vision. They've got some really shrewd marketing folks over there, but right out of the gate, they loved the concept. They were all in on that first video.
Right.
And then, quite frankly, I mentioned the Walbridge fire video that we did. there was a really unfortunate mishap in filming the video in Armstrong Redwoods. I was skipping and really in character, and I tripped on a root and fell and cracked that first bottle, and went with my cork between my legs back to Kendall Jackson and said, "Hey, I'm really sorry to have to ask you this, but I broke that wine bottle. Do you have any more?" And so we worked out a deal, and they were able to connect me with another bottle. And now I've learned my lesson that I can't skip when I'm Matty Vino. I can shake my booty a little bit, to get that sediment jostled up from the bottom, but I cannot skip without fear of injury.
You could shuffle.
Exactly.
We need like a slow motion video of you falling down. Like, no.
It does exist.
Oh, it does.
It does exist.
Oh, fantastic.
Yes.
You have to send that to me. All right, so now Matty Vino is back and better than ever. You got the elves to make you a new, stronger outfit.
It has been reinforced. Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Has Matty Vino been to like Jack London State Park yet? Or where can we get you here in Sonoma Valley to go check out? We got Sugarloaf. We have Transcendence Music. We do Broadway Under the Stars.
Yep.
I need to get you. Have you been in the Plaza yet, Matt? I got to get Matty Vino down here.
So actually, funny you should ask, Tim, because next on my list is a farmer's market on the Plaza.
Oh, Tuesday nights.
Exactly.
It's insane. Good.
And I'm going to get some footage there, and then I'm going to incorporate that into, actually Sonoma Valley is next up. So there's going to be a video. I will hit some of the spots you mentioned, actually. Jack London State Park for sure.
Right.
We'll go to the Old Mission.
Yes.
I was really trying to get the Count over at Buena Vista involved. I'm not quite sure he's there anymore.
He listens to this though.
Oh, good.
The first Count, George
Yeah.
Weber, who now
Yeah.
does George Weber walking tours.
Exactly. Oh,
He
good.
does a history experience tour with the Count and as General Vallejo.
Excellent.
And different characters. So if you want to get the Count, I can get the Count.
Well,
I mean, I kind of know people.
Make that happen. Make that happen.
I'll have my people talk to. I'll just have George talk to you.
I don't. But the world could end if the Count and Matty Vino come together. Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
over at Buena Vista, which is where the Count is stationed, Buena Vista Winery, they do have a vortex. There's a vortex with like energy or something, like a fountain. You have to talk to Jean-Charles Boisset, who owns Buena Vista, because he knows the whole thing about this vortex. So you're right. It could be if we get you guys together, something's going to happen. Something big. Something amazing.
That's great. That's great. Maybe I could solve my snoring problems
With Matty Vino?
well in the vortex.
Oh, that'd be a good one.
You know.
Or you could try a CPAP machine. That works better.
Yeah, it doesn't work for me.
Not very attractive.
No.
You look like Darth Vader.
No.
Like,
Matty Vino's got a lot of, he's got a lot of macho energy, and popping that CPAP in there,
No.
it's.
you got to put, is Matty Vino
It's a different kind of foil cap.
I think if people put Matty Vino on their dating profile, people would swipe on you.
Yeah, Matty Vino has not yet signed on. But really, Matty Vino doesn't need a dating profile. You should see.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Really, no one can keep their hands off of
They're
Matty
all
Vino.
on standby waiting to
Men,
say hi.
women, no one.
Dogs.
I mean, everyone's just
Lots
coming
of
over
dogs.
to take
Right.
photos.
Right.
Rub their hands on that glass exterior. I've had a couple folks ask to Coravin me, which is always it's always really flattering when someone asks that.
So Coravin is a type of way to remove wine from a bottle without opening the cork.
Yes,
Is that correct? So
yes,
this-
with
for
the
people
use of a
listening-
surgical needle.
Yes, it's a little needle that goes in, and you inflate it with like an inert gas,
That's right.
and then actually wine can pop out. So when you want to taste a really good bottle of wine,
Yeah,
and not have to open it.
that's right.
That's my understanding. Okay,
That's right. It's hot.
Coravin me, baby. That's your bumper sticker.
It's actually a hashtag
You
that
should-
Matty Vino sometimes uses on Instagram. Yeah, when
Coravin
he's feeling particularly sexy.
Coravin should be paying you for that, by the way.
They should.
I'm going to ask them.
They should. Let's hope they don't sue me for it.
That could be the other option. So tell me, when you're getting out of the Matty Vino, but keep your outfit on, please.
Yes.
But you're also a well-known writer, Matt, and you're quite a good writer.
Thanks.
You cover things you cover a lot of things like wine country where you live.
Right.
But you also cover gambling in Las Vegas.
I do.
And you know a lot about gambling. I know nothing about gambling. And I love watching and reading like your posts on social media, whatever. You use terms like I have no idea what that means, but like Matt is really passionate about it. But
Yeah.
like you love going to Sweet 16 in Las Vegas, right? You watch the NCAA basketball tournament.
I do, yeah.
March
Madness.
Are you there for the whole thing or just for the end?
Usually just the first weekend because there's lots of great sports betting.
Oh, I got you. Because it gets better. That's more bets. Good point. Okay.
Yeah, in case anyone is wondering, what the heck is this guy's deal with gambling? So one of my many freelancing gigs over the years, I was the San Francisco Chronicle's gambling columnist for about 15 years.
That's right. I forgot about that. These have a gambling column.
Right.
They still have that?
They don't, but I started back in 2003, which was actually right after I moved to the Bay Area.
Right. Okay.
And shared that column with Michael Shapiro toward the end, who's another freelancer in Petaluma and a great friend.
Okay.
And also a fan of FOMV, fan of Matty Vino. And he actually he had the column solo for a while toward the end, but they've since wrapped that up.
It's retired.
Yeah.
But so you still write about Las Vegas.
I do.
And you know all that's happening there. You write for some guidebooks, I believe, and some different articles there.
I do. I've written 13 guidebooks about Las Vegas over the years, and still there probably 10 times a year.
What's the current best place to go in Las Vegas for lunch?
For lunch? Well, I'm now at a point in my old age where I'm seeking things off the strip.
I just want some soup and a tuna sandwich.
Yeah, so, there's lots of great Asian food in Chinatown there.
There is. A friend of mine, so I grew up in the South Bay, he was there, and I was staying in Las Vegas on the strip for work. I hated it. Because, you're not there, like you're there for a conference, and it's not your thing.
Right.
So I'm like, where can we get like good Filipino food? This guy's Filipino. He's like, oh my gosh. So we found all these great Filipino restaurants in Las Vegas, and it was a really good time, right? But it was totally not near the strip. You could see the lights from the Luxor, right? But it was this whole different side to Las Vegas that was kind of, I've much appreciated getting out of my horrible hotel, because Las Vegas hotels aren't made for business travel.
Correct.
Right. They don't have a desk to work on.
I have not logged on to hotel Wi-Fi in that city in the last 3 years. Thank goodness for hotspots.
Oh, thank God. Yeah. But
yeah.
Okay, but here's the other weird thing about you, Matt. Okay, so you got gambling, you got wine country, gambling / Las Vegas, whales.
Yeah, I grew up on Long Island. Just always loved whales.
You're totally into whales.
We're miles from Matty Vino now, but
right,
always my personal business website as a freelancer is Whalehead, because people growing up would always I hung out with a lot of deadheads. I thought, if they like the Grateful Dead and they could call themselves deadheads, why can't I call myself a whalehead? So that was all my friends were poaching URLs that ended up, netting them 75 grand, energy.com, wellness.com. And I was like, hey, I'm going to buy Whalehead.
So there you are with your AOL back there in Long Island or whatever.
20 years later, I still own Whalehead. And, these guys are, all CEOs of companies because they were smart enough to cash in.
Just know someone's going to come after
frontier.
You. Some big up and coming kid listening right now is like, hey, Whalehead's the new thing. We got to buy it from that kid, Matty Vino, or that man, Matty Vino now.
But Matty Vino, and there is a connection here. After 20 plus years as a freelancer, and I've been in wine country now 15 years, just watching a lot of these influencers and a lot of these social media zealots come into wine country and sell a product, sell a brand, and really sell themselves, in my opinion, way too seriously. I just wanted to do something silly.
Right.
Legitimate and creative, but silly. And that's I think a real part of this Matty Vino concept is to tell a story that, hey, we live in a really cool place that's got a lot of awesome stuff beside great food and wine.
Right.
But tell it in a way that makes people smile and makes people think, this guy's a lunatic, but that looks cool. I want to do that.
Well, because people take themselves very, like some of the influencers, and they're out there with their glasses and they're swirling and they're in their grapes. Right. It's a lot of very similar stuff, and they're very serious about talking about the legs on the wine or the malolactic fermentation or this stuff. And you get to the point that this is a fun place to hang out, guys. This is a beautiful spot to run around and to have fun. And wine is supposed to be fun, not cork dorky. Right. I
mean, the most recent video we did was at Safari West.
Love that place.
And you want to talk about a life-changing, somewhat sexual experience. I tore a branch off a tree.
Okay.
And I held it in one hand and held it up to the giraffe.
Right.
And that giraffe came over with its purple tongue and it started eating the leaves at the top, and I started eating the leaves at the bottom, and it was like we reenacted Lady and the Tramp, only our tongues didn't touch.
Your eye like a big pizza. That was it right there.
That was it.
You were Lady and the Tramp.
That was it. But I mean, I basically made out with a giraffe that day.
Their tongues are super long.
Super purple, super long.
They're purple and they're long. I'll try to find some video of that because it's amazing. Safari West is great. It's just in the hills above Santa Rosa. You see, it's extreme northern Sonoma Valley.
Yep.
People can take tours there.
More than 1,000 animals.
They have more than 1,000 animals?
I think it's 400 different species, which is quite remarkable.
Well, I love the lemurs. The lemurs are super cool.
Yeah, I interacted with them. They didn't like me very much.
Were you in your bottle?
They were very nervous by the bottle.
You're probably scared. What about the cheetahs? Did you go talk to the cheetahs?
Cheetahs did not make for good video.
They were like, the cheetahs, it's really funny. They just sit there.
Yeah.
They literally just sit there. My understanding is they're actually fairly lazy unless they're hunting. They're like a cat because they're cats.
I'm a single dad, Tim. That describes me too. Really.
They just needed the Netflix and like some Cheetos. And they're like, oh, Matty V and the cheetahs, the same thing.
I mean,
But you can run if you have to. You can run if you have to.
I can.
Yeah. Except you might trip on a root in Armstrong Woods.
Right. Not in the bottle. Can't really run in the bottle.
So Safari West, though, has these Jeeps. You go on these big Jeeps, open air.
Yes.
And you can sit up top. People can sit in the bottom. And you see things like canoes and dicks.
Ostrich.
Ostrich. They have ostriches? Ostriches?
Are you allowed to say dick?
I think on a podcast?
Is that an
podcast.
FCC violation?
No, I think I can't because it's not broadcast. Also, it's the name of an animal.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Well, I mean, to its friends. It's a Richard. People don't know him. But how often can I use that one? So you take these tours. You're going up and down. They have the Watusi cattle.
Yes.
They have monkeys. I don't have monkeys. No.
They do. They actually have a lot of primates.
They do?
Yes, over by the cheetah and the porcupine.
Okay.
We didn't see those. I was very proud of myself. I thought, this will be a fun gag, and so I brought a roll of toilet paper that I used as a horn when we spotted the rhinoceros, because I know rhinoceros make a colossal amount of feces every day. And really, the only person who found it funny was the ranger who was leading us around. He was like, "No one's ever done that before, Matty Vino."
Did you take the toilet? Oh, the toilet paper, I get it, is for the amount of poop they're dropping.
It was real, like, next level joke.
I thought you were making like a horn out of the toilet paper roll. That's what I was thinking.
I did both. I did that too. And then I tried to offer it to the rhinos.
How big of a pile of dookie are we talking about with the rhinoceros?
It was large.
Okay, give me bigger than a bread box.
I tried to get in there to film, and they were like, "No, that rhino will definitely break the bottle."
That was the end of Matty Vino.
In the end, I thought, I don't want to have to go back to Kendall Jackson a third time, so I'm going to stay out.
A rhinoceros.
Yeah. We did see some zebras though, which was
they have zebras.
Yeah, it was great.
Can you spend the night up there?
You can, and I have. And in fact, with the video that we did, which is on Matty Vino's Instagram, that Matty Vino, it closes with Matty Vino resting his head on the bed. Of course, because I spend my time as Matty Vino in a bottle, I had to create a giant stack of pillows to rest my head, which is how the video ends.
Oh, right.
Because I can't actually lay down and then get up again as Matty Vino. Yeah.
Were you able to? Did this show you laying down? I'll have to go look at this.
The video concludes with me placing my head and sort of the foil top on a giant tower of pillows. Yes.
Maybe if God forbid the next costume breaks, you should ask one that's articulated like an SF Muni bus, right? So you can bend yourself.
That's a great idea.
Or maybe run.
That's a great idea. Maybe that can be for when Treasury Wine Estates or somebody else sponsors Matty Vino.
Maybe
be like Idiocracy, right? Matty Vino, brought to you by Constellation Wine Brands.
What did plants? It's got what plants crave. What do plants crave? What else is Matty Vino going to go next? Like, has Matty Vino ever left Sonoma County? Has Matty Vino gone to Mendocino or Napa or SLO or?
Not yet. Again, Sonoma Valley is next on the list, not just because we're recording here. Matty Vino has been asked to come to Vegas. It's a drive because Matty Vino, the bottle, does not fly.
It won't fit?
Well, I don't know how I would put that on an airplane.
We'd have to get you a private airplane.
I would need... where is John Jordan when you need him?
When you need a private on his airplane.
I guess.
We need to get you a private airplane to fly to Las Vegas. Or, you know what? I think Matty Vino would just hop on Greyhound, to be honest.
Well,
and get there.
I mean, eventually, I envision Matty Vino's private airplane looking like a giant wine bottle with wings.
Right.
You know,
kind of Led Zeppelin kind of
there it says on the side, Coravin me, right? Or wine country beyond the wine.
Right.
Bottle life, right? I mean, whatever.
But until you get there, you might have to drive there.
I might.
In a convertible.
Everybody starts somewhere.
They do. Okay. It's a little Fear and Loathing. You can get there in your convertible. And we were just outside of Barstow when the truck started to hit me. Tell me what else is going on? Like you do a lot of things, Matt. Like, are you writing any stories right now that are interesting that you could tell us about? Or is it something like super secretive that we can't talk about?
Always. I mean, I remain connected to the Press Democrat. I think it's a great Metro daily. I do mostly features. Just wrote 2 stories for the forthcoming Latino Living section, which I think is a great section, and they translate all the stories in there into Spanish.
And they have La Prensa Sonoma as their Spanish language newspaper.
That's right. That's right. I do a lot of towns features. So actually, the month of August is the Matt Villano town section. I've got a feature I think every weekend.
Really?
But I really like staying connected to the PD, just because it's a great way to learn more about the community, stay involved in the community. Other than that, I have a couple corporate writing clients, still doing journalism for CNN and some other titles.
So I mean, you're kind of hiding your lamp under a bushel there, sir. So you do write for major national outlets.
I do still.
You are on CNN.
I do, still. And they've been a great client. They've given me lots of great opportunities to really
give you a show.
I don't know about that.
We got a studio right here.
In the bottle.
Clearly, we got in the bottle.
Right?
In the bottle with Matty V.
Yeah.
And you could totally just be the guy, your wine country correspondent, whenever something comes on. And whether it's serious, hard-hitting news, like election returns or an earthquake, or here we are. And you just wear the bottle. That's just your shtick, but you never mention it. You just don't talk about it. You just wear the bottle.
Just show up.
Just show up in the bottle. That'll be your thing.
I mean, I do that a lot. I live in Healdsburg, and every now and again, my kids will say, "Hey, let's go to the farmer's market as Matty Vino today," and I'll put the bottle on. I'll go to the market, or like, random Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We'll just go downtown and I'll just wander around the plaza waving to people.
What's the coffee shop? Black Oak. Is it the
Black Oak is
the new goat?
It's the new one. Yeah, it's phenomenal.
And so, do you ever show up there in your bottle?
I have been inside Black Oak in the wine bottle. Yes, yes, I have.
I want photos of all these so I can put them up there.
They exist
on your Instagram post. What's called that Matty Vino?
That Matty Vino. Yeah.
Is there the other Matty Vino? Because that Matty Vino implies like there might be more than one. Like which Matty Vino? That Matty Vino.
Right. And again, that was sort of a mockery of some of these influencers who take themselves so seriously that they decide to drop some random identifier
Here's
before
your definite
them.
article.
Right. Exactly.
Exactly. Those. Farmers Market Day. What day is the Farmers Market up in Healdsburg?
Saturday is the big day, and then Tuesday morning before the concerts in the plaza during the summer.
Got it. So you have concerts in the plaza on Tuesday morning.
Concerts in the Plaza is Tuesday night. It's funny, Matty Vino has never been to concerts in the Plaza, but I am determined this August to make it happen.
To do it?
So
that's the big thing up here, that every city has concerts.
Yep.
So Sonoma, we have them. Windsor's got them. Santa Rosa's got them. I think Cotati, maybe they all play accordions or something. But everyone's got like their night where they do weekly concerts. And that's kind of a big thing. You don't see that in other cities that I know of. I don't think Pleasanton does that. So take that, Pleasanton.
It's great. It's another way in which I think our county really shows off its sense of community and really sort of a zest for life. Again, it's not just wine over here. It's not just fancy pants living. It's it's real. It's coming together.
You said not just wine. I'm bringing you something. I went and got Gravenstein apples today.
Look at these.
Yeah, from the farmers market today here on Friday in Sonoma.
This
is from the Red Barn store at Oak Hill Farm, and you can go there on Saturdays and tour the farm.
Huh. Maybe we'll work them into the Sonoma Valley video as well.
Yeah, they're great. And they have really good stuff there. But so Gravenstein apples are coming up in season now, and then
that's right.
Pears will be coming up soon. Excuse me. Figs. So a lot of the stuff's grown here locally in Sonoma County, Sonoma Valley, that people just think it's just grapes.
But I love it.
Like you said, Matty Vino goes beyond the grapes.
Wine country beyond the wine.
Wine country beyond the wine.
Yeah.
So the Gravenstein is a type of apple that was brought here by the Russians 200 years ago, they say, and now they're popular out mainly in West Sonoma County, but all over Sonoma and the North Bay. It's in the slow food arc of taste. Like it's a special apple.
Really?
They don't ship that well, but they're known for their applesauce. Yeah, and they're known for making really good pies. So
yes,
they're super good, but good applesauce. You make cider too. Oh, hold up the apple here. I'm gonna taste this apple, but you have to talk because there's nothing worse than a podcast where no one's talking and just chewing.
Well, I actually want to hear the crunch and crisp. I want you to
Ready?
bite into that
Here we
thing
go.
right by the
Okay,
mic.
Here we go.
Amazing. We got to make that a canned sound or something.
Maybe we can make it like someone's like phone ringtone or something like that.
Tim, from now on, whenever you text me, it's going to sound like this. Let's hear it again. Oh, he's not chewing. He's chewing too slowly.
Hold on here.
Amazing.
Okay.
And my kids are going to be like, Dad, Zoner is texting you again.
Every time, where are you? And be like the apple being chewed and stuff like that. I'm going to stop chewing this. You have to keep talking so I can keep chewing.
Absolutely, absolutely. So other places that Matty Vino, other places in the county, Matty Vino is really eager to spotlight, at least over the next couple months. Windsor has not gotten much love, and Matty Vino is excited to hit Windsor for a video. I'm also going to venture over to Napa, whether or not anyone decides to support me. I'll go rogue, and I'm determined to get on one of those gondolas as Matty Vino. Now, I recognize that is dangerous.
You mean the gondolas at Sterling or whatever?
No, the gondolas that they paddle in the Napa River.
Oh,
but I'm ready, and I think that would make for some great video. And if I fall in, I've practiced some emergency procedures for getting out of the bottle.
Out of it? Like when the kayak flips over, you can get out.
Exactly.
The bottle.
Exactly.
I would love to see you trying to paddle. Maybe stand up paddleboarding. Have you done that?
It's
be safer, no?
I only recently was able to get up on a stand-up paddleboard.
With as Matty Vino or just as Matt?
No. I don't know if I would ever try that. I can barely stand up just as Matt Villano on a stand-up paddleboard. Give me some time, Tim. I'm working on my core. I'm working on my core.
Do some Pilates.
That's right.
Get the yoga there.
That's right.
I would love to see you in Napa, and maybe what we could do is if you do it guerrilla style, I give you some visitor guides. And,
I like that.
And you hand them out.
I like.
I mean, I love all my friends in Napa, a lot of colleagues over there, but it would be kind of funny. Speaking of visitor guides, I think I put one in that bag for you.
I'm very excited.
Reach it, pull it out for a second, because we have some new stuff in there. That visitor guide just came out last week.
This one here,
right there.
Excellent.
It's brand new.
Did I write anything for this or no?
Not on that one. I've used your stuff before. I can't afford you anymore.
Well, thanks for that work, Tim. I really appreciate it. My kids appreciate it too. Is that why we didn't comment all month? Good to know.
That's why you didn't hear my text coming through with an apple chew. Like, boy, I haven't heard that apple chew in a long time.
They really like ramen now. That's
Ramen's
top ramen, not ramen gaijin.
Not like
top
fancy ramen.
Right.
No, it's funny.
They do like ramen gaijin though too. Who doesn't?
People don't know. Matt used to write for me. We would buy his stuff. You covered the Dry Creek General Store before it was the Dry Creek General Store.
That's right.
So that's a big thing there. But you've written everything.
Boy, now we sound old.
I know.
Tim.
Back in my day when you used to sit on the porch.
I remember before that Dry Creek Valley got flooded. I used to go pee behind that sagebrush.
We do have that all the time. That's a very Sonoma thing to do.
Yeah.
Is to complain about things that changed and then reference things that are no longer there as a way to go to some other place else.
Yeah.
Right. And that might be every rural place ever.
It's really every place. I mean, before I left New York, I was that cranky New Yorker who was complaining that his favorite 24-hour diner became a Trina Turk boutique. Yeah.
But then what was that before that was a 24-hour diner? That's the question.
It was the Florin. It was like in the meatpacking district. It was like the coolest place.
But things always change.
Oh, no, the Florin had been there for like decades.
No, there was some Dutch guy really mad when they opened the Florent back in like 1710.
Maybe you're right.
Because he's like, that used to be the cobbler, and I got that's my bad Dutch accent from the 1600s.
I thought it was pretty good.
Thank you. I do love, people don't mention this. You are from the East Coast.
I am.
Why does New Jersey have better pizza than New York?
That's just not true.
That's what people from New Jersey say.
Well,
it's got better pizza, Matt. New York does not have good pizza.
I mean, there are a lot of Italians in New Jersey. I'll say that. They know how to make pizza.
What about Chicago pizza?
It's a different beast.
You are such a diplomat. Where's the best pizza in New York?
The best pizza I'm an old school. I'd like John's down in the Village. Okay. I mean, it's an experience.
You just go there. It's like going to Katz's Deli, that kind of thing. Like
which I do as well every time I go back.
Isn't that fantastic?
Although we were there this summer, and my kids, that was on day 5, day 4. My kids basically said, "We've had too many bagels. We're bageled out." And I tried to disown them in that moment, but
because the bagels out there, it's the water that makes it so good. Because it comes right from the East River, And there's been
Is that right?
wise guys floating by.
Is that where they get it?
And
The East River?
I don't know where they get it. Where do they get it?
I don't know. I wouldn't eat this many bagels if the water was coming from the East River. I'll tell you that.
Someone Google, where does New York get their water? Yeah, bagels in the West Coast, and I might get in trouble for this. I don't think they are as good as East Coast bagels because the locus classicus of American bagels is New York City.
They're not. There have been some valiant efforts. I mean, what Chris Costeau is doing over at the Oxbow in Napa is great, and Mark and Terry's place in Santa Rosa, Grossman's is
Grossman's
special.
noshery is really good.
It's special.
Yeah, that's good. They have really good bread. That's a good point there. But that's the thing there. Well, I was going to ask you too. I was supposed to ask you. Someone said I had to ask you like either a book you're reading or something totally random, because otherwise these are all about Sonoma. So Matt, are you reading a book?
I don't mind being all about Sonoma.
I know. Thank you. That was what someone else told me. The editor of the podcast said you should ask a random question. So here you go. If you could be something other than Matty Vino,
Yes.
another agricultural product. If Matty Vino wasn't here, what would you be?
Well, I've done some work for the California Prune Board, and kind of fitting because I'm from Healdsburg. Right. So I gotta rep them.
Have you done work for the California Prune Board?
I actually have done some work for the California Prune Board. Yeah.
Okay, that's actually important because California prunes, I think, come from the Santa Rosa plum is the most commonly used plum tree. I don't know. I'm just guessing.
One of them.
Yep. Is it? Okay. So, and that was developed in this area by Luther Burbank.
Yep.
People don't eat enough prunes, Matt.
No. And yeah, I mean, they don't just help with constipation. They also are incredibly good for you. They're chock full of nutrients.
They're delicious.
They are not as dense as many of the other options. So they're
options for like dried fruit, or options for cleaning your lower half.
Yes, to both.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes, and so it's a real healthy snack.
So you could dress up as a prune.
I could, and I actually offered to do that, but I think the engagement was more content based, more written content based.
Also, I think when the California raisins were out in the 80s,
that's right.
It would probably be similar because if they were both claymation without being next to each other for scale, you wouldn't know if it's a raisin or a prune.
That's very true.
Yeah, so I think that's wise. But okay, so otherwise you could be a prune. I like it.
Yeah, I like costumes. When my children were in preschool, I would MC and bid call the fundraising auction every year.
Oh, you were famous for your outfits.
Yeah, I had
an
incredible costume designer who made a bunch of stuff for the Burn every year. Her name's Megan Lush, and she built me some really incredible costumes. The best was for one year the theme was yacht rock, and I always like to sort of zig when everyone zags. So she created me this 3-tiered seafood platter costume that I then sort of stocked and stacked with plastic fish and.
So the kind like when you go to a seafood restaurant,
you get like a tower of
and there's like
seafood.
oyster.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was amazing. The costume weighed about 50 pounds, but it was.
Do you still have it?
I have it in parts in my storage unit. My storage unit basically I now pay $97 a month, and basically it has old costumes and 25 years of newspaper clips in there. That's the only thing you got in there.
Can't get rid of those clips.
Nope.
I have them going back to high school. I don't know why I still have them in my garage.
Like it'd be a great bonfire to just light that stuff up one day. I guess I can't really joke about fire around here.
Yeah, don't do that.
I would do it in a controlled fashion.
So you got all these outfits. Maybe you should start showing up to the different races and runs, not only as Matty Vino, but as Matty Fruit de Mer, or whatever you were with your
Matty Fruit de Mer. Yes, I like that. Yeah.
And maybe you can rent these out for different performances.
Sometimes I try to creatively alter these costumes. Another year I was a human pinata, and interestingly enough, that also doubled really well as a coronavirus. So,
they're very similar looking, aren't
yes.
they? Yes.
So I was able to repurpose that one. My
sick
kids enjoyed beating up the coronavirus.
Was it like a paper mache costume, or is it foam?
It was foam. It was great. Yeah, because we anticipated when I was a pinata that people would try to destroy me.
Smart idea.
Yeah.
Big brain thinking there, dude.
Yeah.
You were like, you should have made it out of like steel. So they did try to punch you, they wouldn't find out. Like,
that would have been fun. That would have been fun. Yeah, the best part of that night was after the fundraiser, we went over to John and Zeke's, and I still had a couple bags of candy inside of me in the costume. So there I was on the dance floor, or there in the middle of the bar at John and Zeke's, tossing candy out at people. It was like the the living drunk pinata throwing candy at people.
As you do.
Yeah.
Only in the wine country.
That's great.
As we do.
It's never a dull moment. Never a dull moment, Tim.
Well, let me ask you something, Matty Vino. Is there anything else you want to say? And if people want to find more information, where do they go? So tell me. Give it to me. This is your chance to give a plug.
So MattyVino.com is Matty's website. Again, Matty Vino's Instagram is that Matty Vino. And if you, for whatever reason, are interested in learning more about me, the person, Matt Villano, whalehead.com, whale like the animal, head like the body part. And I'm always looking for good stories. And Matty Vino enjoys appearing at events. So if you are listening to this and you have a marketing budget and you'd like Matty Vino to come and
grand openings, grand closings, weddings,
he
mitzvahs,
even dons
funerals.
Custom labels if you'd like for your own Instagram. So certainly willing to work with anybody on that.
Love it. Well, Matty Vino, thanks for joining us here on the Sonoma Spiel. So glad to have you. And if people have any other questions, they can go to our website for deals, special offers, and events. That's sonomavalley.com, sonomavalley.com. And if you are listening to this, thanks, Mom, for listening. But everybody else, please like, comment, subscribe, share, rate, tell everybody else about it. And we'll see you next week. Matty Vino, thank you very much.